Let me tell you something about spiritual growth. Spiritual growth, and also when you are in a place in your life when you are hungering for more righteous things, things that are more beneficial to your soul, things that are more helpful to your particular calling in life, and things that are more edifying for your situation. All of those things kind of get lumped in the same category as far as what this message here is about. But when you are in those seasons in your life, especially during times of spiritual growth, during times of being pruned, a lot of stuff of the world will grow strangely dim. And what do I mean by that? All these things of the world will grow strangely dim. Like you start to have a different relationship with earthbound, earth-centered things. It's not that everything of the world is something you completely leave behind, even though there's a difference in how I can say that. I don't mean worldly things such as sinful things or idol worship in some way, shape, or form. I just mean everything from earth you grow a whole different relationship with. In anything that's not directly from God or useful to your walk with God, you grow a different relationship with. Even if it's your job, right? A lot of people can find their identity in their job. A lot of people can find their identity in their business, their skill sets, and their status in the world. And all of them things grow strangely dim, especially when you first get saved too. And that fire get turned up on the inside of you. Almost everything in your life will start to be spiritual. Like you will start to see things from a spiritual lens, as far as like what I mean by that. You know, I remember when I first got saved, and it was like a night and day difference. One day, my mind was focused on all the things of the world. I don't want to say it was like the next day, but it sure wasn't that far after. You know, everything about the world I start to see from a spiritual eye, and I grew a different relationship with everything. I stopped worrying about my needs here as much as I worried about being pleasing to God. I grew a different relationship with the job I had. The job I had, I was so eager to get promoted and, you know, have a retirement, and all of these things is what I found my joy and my comfort in, you know. And then it's like after I get saved, all of that stuff just kind of fell back. It's not that I thought that I should leave the job because I don't got the same relationship with it no more. No, that's not what it is. But it's not to you what it is to everybody else. Like to everybody else, it's the most important thing in their life. To everybody else, it is their source. To you, it just become nothing more than a resource, and God is your source. All of these holidays and stuff like that, man, they have more influence over people's lives than even the Most High God does. Like, isn't that crazy? It's like if one thing go wrong on a holiday, people are more broken about that than when they sin against God. Like to me, that's backwards, right? Like, I am much more broken when I sin against God now than I ever was in my whole life. And it's kind of sad how people are much more broken over football teams losing the Super Bowl, over their favorite politic not being elected. People are much more broken over what they didn't get for Christmas or Easter or Mother's Day, Father's Day, or their own birthday than how they are when they realize they're not in the will of God. And that's if they can realize they're not in the will of God. To me, that is backwards. It should not be this way. And one of the things that you have to realize about the things of the world growing strangely dim is that you are not losing in life. When you got to fall back from some stuff, you're not going backwards in life. You are actually leaving this world. Sometimes a lot of new believers need encouragement when God is trying to set them apart from the world, but they still in this world. And sometimes people can lose jobs, cars, families, houses, you name it. And they need encouragement during those times because they don't understand that God is trying to cultivate a fire in you for the things of the kingdom and get you used to how it is to fall back from earthbound, earth-centered things. And a lot of earthbound and earth-centered things can be important to your walk with God, such as you and your family, right? Like that's something God made, but it's only for earth. You doing your work, right? Work is something God made, but it's only for earth. Yeah, there will be work in heaven, right? But all of this stuff you doing right now is stuff that's really for the time you are here on earth. And like you got to grow a different relationship with all of this stuff here. If you don't learn to do that, the world can grab you by the balls and string you around at its will. You don't want that. When I first got saved, man, some of the things were worked out of me like holiday spirits, right? I was a big Christmas person. I was a big Halloween person. Holiday spirits got worked out of me. I just don't know how to be about it like that, you know? And after a while, I started to forget that it was God who originally worked that out of me. And I just wasn't really mindful. And over time, it's like the more I try and make plans for a holiday, the more I try and put some money aside for a holiday, it just never worked out that way. And I had to remember that as a reminder that God was giving me, like, I want you to be separate from all of it, everything. Be separate from all of it. If you don't get that promotion, good, because that promotion is only going to keep you locked into a position when you think that this job is your source. I want to be your source. If you stay in an entry-level position forever, just know that I got ways for you to make far more money than even your manager do in an entry-level position. It just might not be at the job. I got ways for a part-time entry-level position employee to make $50,000 a year. It just might not be here. So don't ever think that because you don't got something bigger or better than somebody else, that means you going backwards or losing in life. He's just trying to get you used to the things of this world growing strangely dim, falling in the background somewhere. You sing and you dance at the beat of a totally different drum. When the world is going this way, you got to go that way. That's just how it is. And truth be told, you still going to cross paths with a lot of the things here on this planet. And the reason why he's doing that to a lot of his chosen few is because he want an army of soldiers who is not entangled in the things of this world, so that you might please him who has called you to war. He want an army of worshipers who don't have mixture in their worship, so that way he can get what he desire, and that is a worshiper who worship in spirit and in truth with no mixture. If you never go to church on Easter, it don't matter. Why? Because Easter don't come from God. If you never get another gift for your birthday, don't be upset, because God is the greatest gift you can ever have. The greatest. If nobody ever tell you thank you, it don't matter, because your joy is found in Christ. If your favorite football team never win the Super Bowl, so what? It's just the Super Bowl. Who cares? Because everything here on this world and from this world is going to be dissolved the day he returns. And you will have to get used to how it's going to be in eternity. Peace.